why I don't pay my kids for chores or grades, and you should consider it too. Hear me out. This started with my parents-in-law offering my second grader to pay for her getting straight A's. Well, there's not much I can do about this one, but I don't do that. Here is why. I have four main reasons. Reason number one, it's going to be just about the money. It's about internal motivation versus external motivation, and I'll get into it shortly. Reason number two, it's the fact that the paycheck will only keep going up. Inflation, people. Reason number three is the fact that doing chores is a part of belonging to a family. And reason number four is about performance versus learning and curiosity. Now let's get into these a little deeper. So the first one I mentioned was it's all about the money. Kids, when we pay them for chores or grades, end up doing them because they're tied to the money, not because of their internal desire to learn or contribute or do something with us together, but because it is tied to an external reward. And what happens when this external reward goes away? Because it might one day, right? They will be upset, and rightfully so, because this is what they get used to, and basically they'll end up having resentment. Reason number two is that their price will only go up. Well, sure, right now maybe it can start with $1 per A, or maybe even $5 for cleaning their room, but now fast forward 10 years. Inflation, people, we don't want to tie our kids' grades and chores into the whole mortgage rates and egg situation, right? And you'd never know, in 10 years, all of those things could cost you $100. You'll have to keep raising the stakes, and they will have to keep raising their prices. They're your children, people, not employees. Reason number three, chores are a part of being a family. No one is going to pay me for unloading dishwasher, but chores are a part of living in a home together. And it's normal for our kids to start assuming responsibility as their age goes up. For example, making their bed or helping clean up the table, for example, right? And it's very normal that we all contribute to our family, not because they're paid employees. I want my kids to feel like they belong. And another side of the coin is that when kids start to contribute out of their own volition because they want to feel a part of it, they get a much richer sense of belonging and being a part of the family versus being paid for it or being forced into it. And also, by the way, it's completely okay for them to skip days and whatnot, especially when we're talking about 6, 7, 8-year-olds, because brain development isn't there. It's not about consistency. It's about their desire, their need to contribute and belong. Because, I don't always want to make dessert myself, right? And reason number four is grades are about growth, not performance. When we tie grades or maybe reading time to money, kids stop doing it out of their desire to learn, to be curious, to explore the world. What they end up doing is they end up basically chasing a paycheck, doing something they don't actually want to do in the moment. So the other day, my daughter told me that her friend's parents pay her for every 30 minutes of reading time, and she asked me if I can do that too. And I directly said no. Why I said no is because I asked her, do you enjoy reading? Do you like to do this? Are you having fun from this story? We went to the library and we picked the books together. Because it's not about performing for approval. It's not that I want her to get straight A's. I actually want her to fail because failure is a part of learning experience. And when we fail, we'll learn. At the end of the day, we want curious, self-motivated learners and self-starters, not kids chasing a paycheck. Because you know what? They have their whole life that they're going to use chasing that paycheck. What we can do instead is encourage motivation, encourage their contribution to your family, and show how, for example, oh my goodness, thank you so much for making your bed. It looks so much cleaner and so much more peaceful when we all contribute. Even encourage each other and praise each other for your contribution, because it encourages your child too, as well as encouraging their curiosity and being okay with their failures. And by the way, I understand that some of you might say, but this is praise. We shouldn't be using praise to raise our children too, because it's also a type of external motivation and validation. And to a degree, you're right, especially when overused. But when used in moderation, there is honestly nothing wrong with it, especially when we're talking about praising the effort, not just the result they're chasing. And if you've paid your kids for chores or even grades, I'm not here to guilt you, because we've all done similar things. And what I'm saying is not that it's such a terrible situation. Sure, you've done it. I'm just saying it's a slippery slope. And when kids end up only doing those things like chasing grades or even helping out just for those Benjamins, it's not a great idea because they're losing a part of belonging to the family. They're losing this big chunk of being a part of something and doing something for themselves out of their own volition, not just for you. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out my account for more parenting tips that help you keep your marbles.